Hello everybody and welcome to this video of myself and Mr. Alistair Penman. We are here today to talk about tenor sax mouthpieces and, more importantly than that, really affordable but decent quality and decent sounding tenor sax mouthpieces. We've got two. We've got the Yamaha 5C, that's part of the Yamaha student range, which goes from 4C, 5C, 6C, 7C, different sizes, more on that later. And we've got the Windcraft student model, which we get made in the United States of America by the wonderful Babbitt company who make Link and Mayer and other things. But this is made to our design, originally designed, in fact, by my colleague of the time, Professor Anton Weinberg, who was a professional mouthpiece maker and professional musician. And he created the design, which Babbitt went on to produce for us in this very affordable line of mouthpieces. Anyway, that's a bit of chat, isn't it? Let's actually get to some playing. We wanted to just do this so you could hear how good student quality mouthpieces can be if you pick the right ones, because there's a lot of kind of not so great mouthpieces out there or instruments which need a better sounding mouthpiece, and these two will do it, but in slightly different ways. So, Alistair, we're going to play something of the kind of ilk of someone who's in the first few years, is that right to say?
Yeah, this is kind of a grade 4-y type piece. Yeah, reasonable standard, gives it a nice workout, so you'll hear a bit of punch from it.
Cool, and Alistair's using a Yamaha 280 tenor saxophone, so we're not cheating, there's not some Selma here and all sorts of expensive things. This is a kind of very ordinary setup, but this is how it can sound. So Alistair will play them back to back. We'll start with the Windcraft, then the Yamaha, and then we'll get his thoughts on how they play. There we go. So that was the two mouthpieces back to back, and actually we're using a Yamaha 5C today. I'd forgotten that. It's a 5C that we've had on, and the Windcraft is only available in one size, which is between a 4 and a 5-ish, I think, in the tip opening. So I've got my thoughts. Alistair, tell me what you think though, playing them.
Yeah, I mean, they're both really good student mouthpieces, really playable. As we said, we've got them on a Yamaha student sax, so the kind of setup people might be using. They're both great, both very easy to play. For me, the Windcraft is a bit more resistant. It feels a bit more open as well, and it's got a lot of punch to it, that Windcraft. I was very pleasantly surprised by that one, actually. We just did a video on the alto ones as well, and it's interesting kind of the differences. On the alto, I have to say I probably preferred the Yamaha as an all-rounder, whereas on tenor, actually, I quite like that extra bite that the Windcraft's got. It just makes everything a little bit fuller. But that said, the Yamaha still makes a really great sound, and it might depend almost kind of what kind of playing you're going to do. The Yamaha you might find is better for kind of more straight down the line classical stuff. If you're interested in doing a bit more jazz sort of stuff, you might go through the Windcraft. But I mean, both of them will happily do both.
I think having done this and sold these for a good number of years now, that Windcraft plastic one is a bit of a hidden gem, because you kind of alluded to it there. The design just really suits what you want from a tenor. It's that combination of the right mouthpiece on the right instrument and getting the right characteristics from it. There's a bit more sort of bootiness from it, I think. You know, again, with recombinations and different ligatures, you know, we're using a Rovner dark 2R ligature. That's another thing to consider if you're seeking to upgrade your sound a little bit, is having a slightly different or a better ligature. A, it will hold the reed better, and B, it can affect a little bit the resistance and the feel, can't it? But I think in summary, either one of these two would be a good option. It's so important, isn't it, that when you're starting or in the first few years, you have a mouthpiece that's actually complementary to your playing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it makes a huge difference. I see so many students out there who have bought saxes maybe on eBay or kind of cheap brands that have come with some mouthpiece, possibly even an unbranded mouthpiece, and they're really struggling away and not realizing that it's actually the mouthpiece. And just relatively, I mean, in terms of saxophone gear, these mouthpieces are pretty inexpensive and can be a great way to make a big difference to your sound. It could make a huge difference to you.
Yeah. So if you're interested in either of these, they are available through the Dawkes.co.uk website. Wherever you are in the world, we can ship it to you, and you can add that and see it in your currency at the basket. As we said, the Yamahas are available in a number of sizes. I find on tenor, the 5 and the 6 tend to be quite popular, a little bit more open than on the alto, where it's the 4C that we do more of. And as I say, the Windcraft is just one design, but it's really quite a neat mouthpiece for those early few years. And then when you've progressed a little bit more, you've built up your embouchure, you can explore other mouthpiece options that are made of different materials, such as hard rubber or metal, and they'll give you even more again, but you need to have done that early work on the practicing, don't you, to get to the point where they can be more worthwhile for you. And we've done loads of videos. Check out the channel, subscribe to see all of those and the playlists that we have as well. But for today, I think we'll leave it there. Alistair, thank you for your demonstrations and keen insight. And we'll be back with you all very soon. Thanks for watching.